Welcome, I'm the Deadwood Jedi. This is going to be another Raid Shadow Legends video, and today we're going to do something a little bit different. Normally, I do clan boss videos where I talk about the team and the setup and like, hey, this is how you run it and stuff like that. That's not today's video. Today's video, we're going to see how hard Turvold can hit. Because I've been thinking about it, and I'm like, this dude is crazy good, and now we have so many different champions available to let us extend buffs and really stack damage, and you know what? I think Turvold can slap for well over 1 million damage per hit, which is insane numbers. If you think about it, that's a lot of damage. That's just a lot of damage. He's basically going to be able to 2-key Ultra Nightmare by himself. So I thought I'd see how much damage can I make him hit. So I'm going to build him up about as good as possible here to really try and, you know, juice those numbers and get his A3 skill, his big damage skill, to do as much damage as humanly possible. So I'm sure there's accounts out there and team setups that maybe could do a little bit better job, but I'm skeptical. I'm skeptical because I feel like this guy really can slap. Now, he's not going to do the most overall damage. That's not what I'm looking for. I just want to see how big that A3 hits. That's the goal of this video, and so we're going to see what we can't do, and I feel like I've done a pretty good job of setting that up.
I really appreciate you coming by to watch this video, and if you enjoy it, don't forget to hit that subscribe button down below, the notification bell so you don't miss the next one. And of course, if you enjoyed today's music, we have that Soundstripe link down below in the pinned comment description of this video, along with my code Deadwood Jedi to save yourself 15%. And of course, if you're looking for account work, you can find that on my website, deadwoodjedi.com.
So if we look here, you can see the team we're bringing in. We have Bad Alcazar, Bellinor, Turvold, Demitha, and another Demitha. Now, the reason why is all has to do with Turvold's skills. So let's look at those really quick, and we'll get an understanding of what's going on. So Turvold, obviously, he has an A2 ability that gives him an increased attack buff, increased crit rate buff, and an extra turn. Well, the extra turn, because we have 2 Demithas going here, they're extending all the buffs. So those 2 buffs, increased attack and the crit rate, are going to be up all the time on Turvold, which is insanely good. And then on top of that, he's going to keep that increased speed too. That means the speeds we need are really, really low. Now, that alone is pretty great. But then his A3 comes in, and this is where it gets insane with the Mytha. Damage increases according to the number of buffs on this champion. So we're going to have a full 10 buffs on this champion, the max you can have on any one champion. And so that A3 ability is going to slap stupid hard, and I'm really excited to see what that can be, because we're juicing it even further. Not only does he give himself a crit rate buff, but we're using a crit rate aura from Bad Alcazar, which is just wild, right? So that means he needs to be 25% less crit rate on top of that. So we start at 100%, we lose 30 from his crit rate buff, and another 25 from the crit rate aura. Means we only need 45% crit rate on him. Wild numbers. And then on top of that, Bad Alcazar has a crazy good passive where everybody inflicts 20% more damage against enemies that have poison debuffs up. So yeah, this could be really fun, right? We're doing extra 20% from him. We're only needing 45% crit rate. He's gonna be having an increased attack buff on himself and 10 full buffs. Insane. And then of course the last champion I'm bringing in is Bellinor, and the reason why I bring Bellinor in on this is simply for the decreased defense and the weaken that he produces. That's really the only reason why we have him. It's crucial, but that's it. So we do need a manual a little bit to make sure that Bellinor can take this initial stun, because it's the first one that's not going to be cleansed, and after that it's full auto and it works great. Now this is not what I would call an affinity friendly comp. This is just me kind of throwing champions together and making it work, but it should be a really good example of how much damage Turvold can do. Now, normally I show the champ stats at the end, but today I think we're going to go ahead and show them right up at the beginning here. And there's going to be an interesting thing. Let's start with the big dog himself. Of course, I'm talking about Turvold, this beastly champion with the horns and everything. Death Knight's buddy, just a big damage dealer for Clan Boss. Now, when it comes to his stats, right, you notice we have Savage set on him. I really want to try and juice these numbers. So the attack's probably lower than I could maybe max out if I was using all cruel sets, but Savage is insanely good. And we got 6,700, almost 6,800 attack on him. Now, I do use a fatal set to help give us just a little bit extra crit rate. I could obviously use a cruel set as well for a little bit more crit, ignoring defense, but I just didn't have that quality of gear on that to really make that work. So I think this is going to be a really good result for us, though. And then, of course, we got 326 crit damage, which is also insane. 142 speed, doesn't have to go very fast to make this work, which is great. That's how we're able to pump these numbers up even further. Now, one thing you'll notice in the masteries, I do have them with War Master. I still think that's going to be a stronger hitting skill, but what I do want to do is I want to test this with Helm Smasher as well. So we'll do this twice. We'll see how it looks with War Master, and then we'll see how it looks with Helm Smasher, which should be, I don't know, it'll be kind of an interesting thing. The clan boss has such little defense that usually Helm Smasher isn't that helpful, but considering the fact that we're going with Savage Gear, we're trying to really juice the numbers, and the fact that he does so much damage, the difference might actually be worth it in this case. It's a very rare scenario where you're actually going to get more damage from Helm Smasher, but I think in Turvold's case, that actually might be the case. So we're going to test that out as well, and that's pretty much it. So let's look at the other champions really quickly. We'll talk about the Demythas, obviously the champions that can make this comp work in its entirety. And we have two of them. One's going slow at 259 speed here. You can see almost 100% crit rate, crit damage, whatever. We're not getting much damage out of Demytha anyway, so I'm not worried about it. I just really cared about the speed. And then the other one is going at 263 speed. Again, speed is really the only objective with those two. Now, when it came to Battle Khazar, this once amazing champion, now pretty decent still, he's going to be less geared out. He's actually going to be geared out for damage, right? I did, juice up his attack to 4,600. He's got 165 speed, 75% crit rate, just what we need, and then 260 crit damage should be really good. The accuracy, 229, could definitely be a little bit higher, but I think this is going to be sufficient for what we need here. We just really need him to land one poison every time he puts them up. And then, of course, we have Bellinor as the other champion in here, who is absolutely amazing. I mean, the thing is, Bellinor's so good in a lot of comps, but his big advantage is that crit rate aura. We actually don't have that here, so he's maybe not even the best choice for this team, but he's Void. It works. I'm not worried about it. We're getting what we need, which is the decreased defense and the weaken. Plus, he does hit really hard, and at 6,500 attack, 167 speed, 306 crit damage, we should get a pretty good sense of how much damage this guy can do as well. So that's the team. Let's go ahead and jump into the run. Okay, this is like the 10th time I've tried to run this thing. I keep screwing it up. So I basically need a manual the first few turns here. Now, some of this stuff I can auto, but in general, I'm going to have to do a fair amount of manualing here. Basically, this first Demytha, I need to A1. Even with the AI setups, I just have to get in here and manual stuff to make sure the timing of everything is right and set up. It's all for a good cause, though, right? That's the whole point here. Get that buff extension, A1 with Battle Khazar. A1 here with Demytha, A1 with Bellinor, this is important, and then A3 here with Turvold, and then A1 again. Alright, now I can auto the rest of this, so that one attack. And now here, we get that stun, that's okay, we're going to get Cleanse It with here with Demytha. Battle Khazar is going to use the poisons. That Demytha's A1, right. Bellinor is going to A2, get the decreased defense and weaken out. And then Turvold here, I want to A1, because I want him to use his A3 on the next turn. And the reason why is he should be getting a poison debuff here, and that's just going to juice his damage up even more. So that's the goal. That's what we're looking for here. So I'm going to turn his A3 down to 1 time speed here. We can see exactly what damage he does. Whoo! 657, 663. That's only his first time through on this, by the way. He's got full 10 debuffs on. He had the poison for a little bit extra juice on that. Yeah, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. And now we're fully in auto, right? So we can check it out. And every time we go through this, it should actually ramp up a little bit. He has a skill. There's a mastery that kind of increases your damage over time. And I think it's just supposed to affect your A1. But in my experience, it seems to affect all your skills. So I'm guessing he's going to be doing even more damage here. Now, we don't have Weaken Up. Bellinor didn't land it. That's definitely, it's an issue. It's a thing that happens. And we still did almost 1 million damage, which is wild to see. So I'm really interested to see what we can do this next time around. But this is cool. Building him up is pretty fun to do. I mean, he's doing almost 200k without any decreased defense or weaken out there, which is just wild. The Savage Gear obviously is massive, but having 10 buffs is great too. Boom, boom. Whew, so much damage. And you'll notice Bellinor has that increased crit rate up. That's going to be on him the full fight too. That's why his crit rate was so low when I built him. Okay, here we go. Let's see what we do. 631, 644. It's good numbers. It's good numbers. That's good numbers. I mean, 1.25 million damage is pretty ridiculous, I would say. So yeah, that's nice right there. You know, as long as we can keep decreased defense and weaken up, we're being pretty good shape here. Obviously, you can see the importance of having those up for the full fight, and we're doing, you know, less than half damage without it. So, but oh boy, 450k on the A1 is just bonkers damage. That's stupid numbers. So yeah, this is definitely good here. I really love it. Look at that, almost. Woo! 696. What did I say? Those numbers started to go up a little bit, right? 696,000 damage. I mean, there is a little bit of swing within each hit, so that's to be expected too. But whew, that's good numbers. I like it. I like it. So this is pretty fantastic damage-wise here, I would say. Wow. That's almost 1.4 million damage on that one skill. That's crazy numbers right there. Boom. So that's the swing. It looks like the top number is going to be about 700,000. The bottom number is going to be about 600,000, as we went a little bit under on that last one. So there's definitely some swing to it, right, for sure. But whew, boy, it's nice. It's nice numbers here we got going on. I'm definitely a fan of watching this kind of thing go. So yeah, that's something or other. I guess what we should do here is we'll test it on Helm Smasher and see what numbers that puts up. There we go, 716,000 damage. Woo, that's good. That's good. So we're doing somewhere between 1.3 and 1.4 million damage. It looks like on average with that A3 skill, which is ridiculous. And I mean, obviously, if we get a Helm Smasher proc too, right? That's another. Another 70, 80k on top of that. It's pretty good. So okay, let's not Helm Smasher, War Master procs, right? So okay, cool. Let's stop this. We'll go back and we'll see what he does with Helm Smasher on. So as you can see on Turvold, I switched his mastery, so now we have Helm Smasher on. This is going to do a whole lot of damage for us, hopefully, right? It's a 50% chance, so it's not going to proc every time, but if it does proc, we should be able to notice the major damage uptick on that, right? We were doing somewhere between 600 and 700,000 damage before on that A3 on each hit, so we should be able to see if there's going to be a difference here. All right, as we get into this, obviously, I'm going to have to manual it again just to get started, but that shouldn't be too big of an issue. The anticipation's killing me now. Super excited about this. All right, A3, boom, boom. Just see kind of what it does. There you go, A1. Now we can auto again. No, that works. That works. All right, here we go. Back again. A2, A1, 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 and now here we want to use that ability here. Boom, boom. All right, finish it out. Now, yep, get that up. Pretty much everybody can auto, except for Turvold here, where I want an A1 with his ability. All right. And now we're good, and we should be in sync. We'll see, get an idea. He's got 10 buffs already on him. We have decreased defense, we have weaken, we have a poison out there. It's all we need. Okay. It's kind of in line with what we had before, right? 696, 650. So I didn't see a Helm Smasher proc on that, but we'll see if that improves as we go through. Now you can absolutely, if you wanted to, you don't have to use War Master. You can use Giant Slayer on Turvold. As long as you're getting at least 2 attacks per turn, the percentage and the ratio is going to be the same. So it's not much of a difference. If we're trying to really see top damage on one attack, we could go Giant Slayer for the previous one, but it's not going to make a difference. So there we go. 756,000? Woo! I would say Helm Smasher procced on that one. So you can see that difference actually isn't that crazy, right? This is one of the reasons why we do War Master or we do Giant Slayer instead of Helm Smasher. I mean, it's only, what, another 40 or 50,000 damage really than he was doing on top end before. So it's not like that crazy of a difference. I mean, we want to watch a few more times, right? We want to definitely make sure that that wasn't like a low hit that just boosted up a bunch of damage. But you know, the clan boss doesn't have enough defense, and especially with decreased defense out there. Oh boy, those are good numbers though. Those are good numbers. But especially with decreased defense on the clan boss, it's not like we need to bring in a lot more, you know, of ignoring defense. The benefits we get from that is usually outweighed by, you know, the benefits we'd get from War Master or Giant Slayer. Definitely with the consistency of it, right? But I mean, it's not bad. It's definitely not bad. You know, we have Savage on him too, so it's even getting less benefit for us. If we didn't have Savage on Turvold, we probably would see a much higher uptick as far as that ratio goes. But boy, those are good numbers. Those are good numbers, right? I mean, if you can ignore damage and you're not giving up anything else, you do it. Or ignore defense, but you're not giving up anything else, you do it. But, you know, the truth of the matter is there's not that much defense on the clan boss, so it's not really mitigating that much damage in relation to what you get out of the other masteries, tier 6 masteries that you can get. But, you know, Savage does have an effect. Absolutely. If you can ignore defense and everything else is equal, it's going to be an advantage. And because Savage is all the time, that helps a lot too. But yeah, I mean, see, we didn't get the proc there. Definitely didn't get the proc there. 598,000. So that's kind of hitting that low end, right? 600, 624. When we get that Helm Smasher proc, we're seeing some stupidly good numbers, right? I mean, 750,000 on half of the hits. It's wild to me. Wild to me. So I would say the top end numbers with Helm Smasher are going to be higher, right? I think you can see up to 1.5 million damage, maybe even just slightly over that. But the, you know, the average damage, I don't know that there's actually much difference. Oh boy, good numbers. I don't know that there's that much difference, and I think I'd probably prefer to have the Giant Slayer or the War Master procs on him instead, and that would be, I think, more beneficial long term. If we're looking at like total damage overall, what we're gonna do. But that's still pretty insane. So, hey, you know what I want to do? I'm going to let this thing run. It's not a very long run, so we'll let the rest of this run go. You guys can watch some of those insane hits from Turvold, and we'll come back at the end and kind of chat a little bit. Oh, let's watch one more together. Woo! 771! Get out of town! Ooh, buddy! Oh, buddy! Yeah. I can get with that. 1.45 million or so. I can get with that. All right, guys, enjoy the rest of the run. Ooh, 52 million, 51.6. Oh man, look at Turvold putting up 33 million all by himself. Just a 1-1 ratio. He's not even taking twice as many turns. He's such an insanely good champion. Oh my goodness. Yeah, really great. And again, I actually think he's better off without Helm Smasher on. I think he's going to be better off with War Master, even doing this kind of damage. And you can see, the more damage you do, the more benefit you get out of Helm Smasher, but there's going to be less. I just don't see it on Clan Boss ever being something that you go with. I just don't think those numbers ever justify themselves. If Turvold isn't really benefiting from it too much, I don't think we're benefiting at all. I mean, if you think about it, the difference there and like the high damage numbers is the same difference you'd get if you added in the War Master procs on top of that. So, and Helm Smasher's a 50-50 gamble too. So you have more likelihood at 60% of landing War Master than you do with Helm Smasher. So For me, it's a bit of a wash, and that's with his crazy numbers. This is why we never use Helm Smasher. But boy, that was fun to watch. I love watching big net damage numbers like that. It's not like my favorite thing, but that was pretty cool. That was pretty cool. So anyway, guys, hopefully you enjoyed this video. Definitely something a little bit different. Don't forget, if you like the music, Soundstripe link down below. Hit that subscribe, notification bell. Be part of the party. We're here. We're doing great things. We're still climbing. Trying to, get those subs up every day. And, of course, if you're looking for speed tunes like this one, check out my website, deadwoodjedi.com. It's been a pleasure, guys. Till next we meet, I'm the Deadwood Jedi.